Namaste, you're on The Nation at 5. I'm Anand Narsiman coming to you live from the CNN News 18 newsroom, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at some of these pictures. Can you believe the amount of cash that is stashed? If I were to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that these visuals, this cash, Income Tax Department took 13 hours to count this money. They had counting machines, but they took 13 hours to count this money. If you look at these pictures, ladies and gentlemen, it's stacked. You can count the layers of cash. These are all wads of 500 rupee notes, and there are some wads of 2,000 rupee notes, all stacked in the farmhouse. And this is in one remote small city in Maharashtra. This is the amount that they have stumbled up. Such is the collection that the property seized is nearing 400 crores. Nearly 390 crore is the amount. The total amount of gold that's been found is more than 30 kilograms of gold. The amount of cash, hard cash that's been found is more than 55 crore rupees. Cash, which is stacked. And who are these people? The information that we are getting, this cash stash that has been seized in Jalna, belongs to steel companies. Owners of steel companies and steel manufacturers. There are 4 of them, and the details that we have so far is that 56 crore of cash, gold worth 14 crore, and it's taken 13 hours for the IT department officials to sit there and count this cash. The raids were carried out after it was found that steel companies that are also involved in construction were doing transactions out of the books. Most of the cash has been seized from the farmhouse of one of the owners of the steel plant. And in the current search, the IT has found unaccounted income to the tune of 300 crore rupees, if not more. The total amount is estimated to be about 390 crore. Ashish Merishi will be joining us here in the newsroom. But here is a ground report from one of our colleagues and collaborators at News 18 in Maharashtra.
स्टील कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया के नाम से मशहूर जालना के एमआईडीसी में आयकर विभाग द्वारा छापेमारी की कार्रवाई की गई। तकरीबन 8 दिनों तक यह छापेमारी की कार्रवाई चली। मेरे पीछे आप देख सकते हो, यही है वो एसआरजे पिट्टी स्टील प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी। इसी कंपनी से आयकर विभाग ने अपनी छापेमारी की कार्रवाई का आगाज किया था। इस कंपनी के साथ साथ 2 अन्य कंपनियों में भी आयकर विभाग ने छापे डाली। साथ ही साथ 2 निजी साहूकारों के दफ्तरों पर भी छापेमारी कर दफ्तरों को सील किया गया। इस कार्रवाई में 390 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक की राशि जब्त की गई, जिसका कोई हिसाब किताब नहीं, जिसमें 50 किलो से अधिक का सोना और हीरे के जवाहरात होने की भी जानकारी हाथ लगी है। इस मामले में आयकर विभाग अब क्या कार्रवाई करता है, यह देखना अब काफी दिलचस्प होगा।
Well, Ashish Merishi is with us at this point. Ashish, tell us more details about who are these company owners and how did the IT stumble upon such a huge stack of cash?
So it's a proper gamut of things which are happening in Jalna, and it's nothing new. I remember in 2021 as well, in the month of September, there was an IT search and similar kind of cash, but the cash was a little less as compared to what we have found this time. But ultimately, what is happening in Jalna, one has to realize the fact that there are certain companies, there are certain individuals who are basically running steel furnaces, and everything happens in cash. So no GST paid, no income tax paid, companies are not registered, but these are all steel furnaces which are being run. It's a form of a cooperative, or you can say a form of a group of people who are running this show.
Is it a cooperative or a cabal?
The right word would be cabal. So it's like a cabal, which, group of people who are basically running the show there. And there, you don't pay taxes, but steel is produced, then the steel is smuggled out of that state, and huge amount of cash is collected, and with that the finances go to certain builders who are in Pune, in Mumbai, and various other. This is usually the process. So this is the inside story. But yes, 58 crore rupees is huge in cash. We remember in the case of Partha Chatterjee as well, it was around 50 crore, and there was so much of noise. But 50 crore rupees, it took the IT department around 13 hours to count. They started at 11 a.m. in the morning and ended at 1 a.m. in the night. So, it was a huge process for them. They found gold worth 14 crores, which is around 34 kgs. There are other diamonds and other valuable things as well. There are certain Benami properties, the documents have been found related to certain Benami properties. There are many more things which have been found, which the income tax department is looking at. But this is like, it's a regular process in that belt of Aurangabad, Nasik and Jalna, where steel furnaces are running illegally. And it seems to be that, the administration is very much hand in glove. And that is why, they are prospering like this. So 2 individuals, 2 companies have been raided. One is SR Steel, one is Kalika Steel. And most of the cash has been found from the farmhouse of one of the owners. Now, interestingly, the income tax department, they decorated their cars as if, the Baratis are going. And, there were around 260 odd people who raided at, various locations. So they had the police force as well, and they had the income tax department officials. So, but to camouflage the entire thing, they decorated their cars as if, the Bharat is traveling towards that area.
Oh, it was like a wedding procession.
It's like
decorated like a Shadi ki Bharat.
Yeah, Shadi ki Bharat. And ultimately, they divided themselves into five teams and then got into the various locations where they found cash. So they had an idea that something like this was happening, and we are already seeing those visuals and the huge amount of
this huge amount of cash,
Yeah.
and these are all 500 rupee wards which we are seeing. There are also some 2,000 rupees tax which are seeing. But you're saying it was all found at the farmhouse of one of the owners.
Yeah.
Are these 2 owners linked with each other?
So that's what I was telling you. It's like a group.
Ah.
Everybody knows. It's a very small district in Marathwada, Jalna. Everybody knows each other. Everybody works with each other. No taxes are paid. The cabal is moving cash from one
So where
location.
does the steel come from? If it's a steel furnace,
Yeah.
so obviously
So it's basically the scrap.
ore.
It's basically the scrap.
Okay.
So the scrap goes to the furnace. Then the steel is produced. Then it is smuggled out of the state without giving any taxes. It goes to various builders in Maharashtra. So it's
So then it is linked to the construction business.
yeah. So there's nothing new. You might have found huge amount of cash. People, in Mumbai was telling me that this is actually a small amount of cash as compared to the kind of dealings that these people do in Jalna. So this is a small amount as compared to what they actually
The actual amount is.
Yeah,
So it's
what
the
they
tip of the iceberg
Yeah, it's
kind
just
of
the
thing.
tip of the iceberg.
It's relative. But are there any political connections that are being seen?
Not yet.
And are there other furnaces also which are now going to be raided? Because if this is an modus which is a norm there, so you said that there could be some administrative hand in glove. So
we can
till where
expect-
will this go
It's
to?
very difficult to say. Entirely depends on the income tax department, because once they raid, they found various details about cash dealings. There are diary entries. There are open entries which are given by entry operators and others. So we still don't know where will it lead to. But certainly this kind of transactions, this kind of illegal working, it just cannot happen without the administration.
And so much
being
of
handled.
cash, there has to be hands in the till.
Yeah.
So there must be people who are at powerful places
Yes.
who must be allowing these operations to be conducted
Certainly,
and facilitated.
even if you run a
And there are
small-
many netas who are in the scrap business.
Yeah,
There are
so-
many netas who are in the construction business.
Yeah, very early to comment until and unless there is something official we hear from associates in the income tax department. But amazing, way of working of the income tax department. They went as Shadi ki Barat, and ultimately raided, and nobody had an idea that
There will be so much of cash that
Yeah,
will be
yeah,
found. So
yeah.
now, how many Benami